Okay, hello there, people of the internet. My name is Udu Jagero, and this is Dialogues Jagero. I am in Uganda, Kampala. I have come to hunt for information, and what a better place to hunt for information. I've been checking a man out. A man, his name is Bryan. How do you pronounce your other name, Bryan? Ssemanda?
Ssemanda, yes.
Ssemanda.
Yes.
Double S.
Double S, yes.
Some people write it with single S, some people with double S.
There's a reason why it's single and double. I'm a major in my family, so it's supposed to be a double S.
Okay.
The minors, it can be a single S. So double S is a serious man.
Yeah.
Yes.
How is Kampala, bro? How is Uganda?
Uganda is a beautiful place. You do what you want. You find it how you want to find it. If you want stress, you'll find it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want freedom, you'll get a freedom. If you want to enjoy it, you will enjoy it.
Yeah.
We're in a free world.
Do you envy any of the East African countries?
For spaces, yes, I do. Because I've been to all of them, at least.
Yeah.
But I think I love Tanzania. The people are...
The women or them?
The people are... The careless kind of thing, but the Kenyan people are very serious.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of girls in Kenya when I'm teaching them, but they're very serious with work. And other people are a little bit laissez-faire and stuff like that. Kenyan people are very serious. I love that. I've had Kenyan girls that I've been teaching, my kind of teaching. I teach about sex only and spiritual stuff, but I've taught many of them. But the Kenyans are very interesting at that.
Yeah.
They love information, but I love the seriousness also.
Okay.
Rwandans, beautiful people. That's why I got a wife. So
that's why you got a wife.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
On your T-shirt is written "Men Moon 2."
Yes, men moon too.
What does that mean?
It's intentional. Because a lot of times when we're doing sex, for men it's physicality and release, but for women it's intimacy. Intimacy means let me feel it, let me feel you. So if I say men mourn too, a lot of men have gotten to an idea of sex where it's just about just thump it and get it out of the way without showing a bit of emotion. But when I say mourn too, I mean show that you're enjoying it. If you want to tell her, baby, I like this, just say it. Men mourn too, don't be quiet. There's the science of the voice of a man in bed with a woman. Everything you say while you're having your woman is beautiful music. Even before you do, I tell people that women have two vaginas, the one here and the one down here. So the only way you can engage the one upstairs is through your vocal, your speech. So whatever you say...
What are some of the things you say when you're having sex? You sing a song?
No, how do you feel about it? If you've done something wrong to the girl, speak stuff that is going to make her wet. If you're making yourself, assertive, if you're confirming your presence in a woman's life, say stuff that are going to stay imprinted in them. Because with sex to women, it's like a series for them. They have a previously on sex with Bryan. Oh, Bryan speaks a lot. He kisses good. If their previously of you is boring, the next is going to be boring. So that's how women take sex. So when I say men mourn too, have signature statements that will bring electricity and energy into her. Every time I say a statement, her body starts getting, oh yeah, she's going to do the things he did last time. That's a good vibe for women. So it starts here, then it goes down. Others, if you don't do nothing and start with this girl, you're going to struggle. An African proverb say, the anger of a penis will never destroy the vagina. You're going to bring your anger here and nothing. You won't get the results.
You have to go slow on that.
Slow.
You gotta get slow on what you've just said and take it again slowly. The proverb.
The proverb.
Yes.
The anger of the penis will never destroy the vagina. So if you bring your anger here, bro, you won't do nothing. And us who are sly, we smooth, we win the battle up here fast. By the time I'm down here, she's helpless. So that's how we do it. Win the battle upstairs. So that's why we say men mourn to every statement you say while doing that. It's an aphrodisiac to most women. So if you're quiet, you're going to be boring.
I hope that you're enjoying this program. Over the last 15 years, I have been working online for clients in America, in Europe, and all over the world. And that is why it pains me a lot when I see a lot of African brothers and sisters saying that they do not have a job. Now, this is the problem. A lot of people are trying to look for a job in 2024 in their own town, in their own country, in their local area. Now, the truth is, there are no jobs in Africa, at least not so many jobs. The good news is that we have internet these days. We have a tablet, we have a computer, we have a phone, and that means that we can do a lot of jobs, and those jobs are online. That is why over the last 4 years I've been writing a book that is called Digital Goldmine. It is a book that explains to you how you can earn money online. The 18 hustles that I've chosen are basically for Africans, because what happens when you are doing online jobs is that payment is usually a problem. So these 18 side hustles that I have put together in this book, you can be paid very well and very conveniently. Okay, so the book is only 1,000 Kenya shillings. That is about $10. You can buy it in Kenya using paybill number. You can buy it online from anywhere in the world using a credit or a debit card. All the information about this book is in the description below. And if you have a brother, you have a wife, you have a husband, you have a friend who is sitting at home and watching Netflix, please do buy this book for them. If you are the one sitting at home and watching Netflix and have nothing to do, please buy this book and your life is gonna change forever. Because I have been doing this online and I've been traveling and I've been enjoying myself and having a lot of fun. So thank you very much, and now back to programming.
Because women go through series depending on the age bracket. Women above 35, their mind is spacing. Children, career, failure, or this guy did this to me. So for you to be engaging, upstairs, you have rhythm. Speak to her. That way you're going to engage her and bring her here. If you do not do that, she's going to be here and her mind is running to pick ugali that didn't deliver well. But if you want to engage her properly, because sex, to me, I believe it's not supposed to be a release. It's supposed to be an engagement. It's a spiritual connection. So whatever you do, you must have both of you here. So if you're going to do just whatever you do and keep quiet, you'll be here with her and her mind is all over the place. And that's why most women in marriages, or most women in their sexual encounters, never have an orgasm, never come. Because our men, and 90% of our men, are physical. Do get it out. Release, get it out. But us who are doing the whispering, it's a different story altogether.
The whispering.
Yes.
But coming back to the whispering part of it, but let's scale back and talk about Bryan the man.
Bryan the man.
Yeah.
Oh, Bryan. Bryan is a crazy guy who has been at life, who started life earlier, being orphaned early. You know what comes with that? You experience a lot of beautiful things. And one of the beautiful things I enjoyed is sex at an early age. And it came with a lot of challenges. And one of the biggest challenges was I had a crazy addiction. And my addiction was so weird that even when I started sex at an early age, I got to a level where I stopped having it. And I started doing the masturbation. I remember it started as a joke. We were in a competition somewhere. Last man standing. You know last man standing? Did you do that at school?
No, we didn't.
For us, we had a last man standing. You stand up and masturbate. Whoever stays up is the winner.
In class?
Wherever we would be. We go in our corners and start do last man standing. And last man standing was, because 90% of the people who do masturbation, they think they're going to do another round. Usually people do one round. If you're done, you don't want to do anything. But for us, we went into a last man standing. You do until there's nothing coming out. So one fatal night, I tried to practice it on myself. The one man standing, last man standing. So I tried to do it, man. I was going through a lot. I was going through a series. I was depressed. I was stressed. So I went into it. And I was doing it until I froze. I couldn't help myself. And at the time, I was taking care of children. I had an orphanage somewhere. And my kids came knocking on the door. And that's when I woke up. Because I remember starting at around 10 p.m. And I didn't know what happened until it was around midday the following day. And I woke up and everything was a mess. And that's when I broke down. I lost almost everything. Depression took me hard. And then in my recovery, I struggled. But then that's the process when I came to do my own research. Before I knew it, I was taking a course about sex. And then it became a passion. And here I am for the last 11 years. Been practicing sex teaching as a therapist.
Yeah.
It's been beautiful with a lot of challenges, but I embrace it with one go. So that's Bryan in brief. I'm a married man, a spiritual person. I'm a dog breeder, I'm a dog lover. I quite do a lot of things, and I'm a certified herbalist. I do herbal medicine.
Okay.
Yes, so that's a little bit about Bryan. Bryan is crazy, big, but that's a bit of Bryan. Yes.
Okay. The other, when we were out of the podcast, I was asking you the different, whether you're a sexologist, and you said that you're a sex therapist.
Yes.
What's the difference?
The difference, okay, terminologies come with different things. Therapy is more of a practical thing than the sexology looks like more of a theoretical part. Speak to me, give me the science, talk me about my anatomy. It's more of a, say, the theory part. Whereas the therapist is more of a practical session, where I've had people come to me and they have a small thing, they don't know how to use it. Theory is not going to work there. I have to tell you, bro, you see how small it is? Let me teach you how to deal with this thing. And then therapy, to me, is more creativity and more hands-on than just the theory part of the story, because there's some things you'll find different. If you're doing if you're a sexologist in the West, in the European countries, the things you're going to face there are not the ones we are facing here. So a sex therapist basically gives you the hands-on skill, the all encouragement, making you feel good about everything. So that's where I hail from.
What are some of the problems that you deal with on a day-to-day basis?
On a day-to-day basis?
Yeah.
90% of my clientele are women. And the problem I deal with is, because now our African context has made a lot of women think that for them to be of value, they must be impressing their men. And I've been rewriting the story for most women. Sex is not about impressing your man. You are the conduit. You're the thing. If you don't enjoy it, he won't enjoy it. And the challenges are dryness. I don't feel nothing. This man did this one doesn't do it. You see, the vagina is like a road. Yeah? The road, there's a bus that goes through the road. And there's a huge truck that goes through the road. And there you with your little starlet coming through the same road. It's a road. So the challenge is the Vitz. I mean, somebody with a Vitz wants to drive like the Sino truck did. Wants to drive like the bus drives. So the challenges are like in that department where one woman comes, I feel loose. I don't feel him. I feel dry. This water, the splashing thing, I cannot achieve orgasm. I don't know what coming is. I've never had this. And 5 years ago, I discovered that a big number of women don't know sex because of the men they're dealing with. So the challenge is teaching them what to do in sex, dealing with the wetness issue. Everyone is wet. Everyone can squat, because I teach women how to squat. Everyone can, as long as you have a nose, you can breathe, unless you have flu. So we deal with the flu. The same thing happens with a V. So the daily dose is, I don't feel him. I'm dry. I don't enjoy it. I don't come. What it is. So those are the daily thing. For men, it's basically about how their size is and how long they want to go. But men are few. I said 90% is women. I don't know, because maybe I love the thing, so I give it a lot of attention. I've started that thing more than the carriers.
Is that so?
The vagina is very interesting, bro.
That's what a lot of women say, that these men that are talking about the vagina, what do they know about the vagina?
No. I think I know the vagina. They know their own. Everyone knows their own.
Okay.
But me, I'm dealing with like 90 others. Not in sexual activity, but in teaching and knowledge. Because my earlier practice, you see, in Africa or in Uganda, there's this practice of pulling the labia.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those who used to pull. I just stopped recently because I got a spiritual level that led me not to pull again. And I gave it to my other girl who does it. Because we do the pulling. They have their job. We will get into that discussion, because a lot of people say, God created me this way, why do I add?
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of Kenyan women come and say, Bryan, I want you to tell me this. How important it is. So, because I've been doing that, I met so many women. And I've seen so many women. Until one of my girls recently asked me and said, Bryan, you know what? This issue women keep on telling us why men cheating is all the same thing. That's a lie. It's like, what do you mean? Man, ever since I started polling now 3 years, every woman comes with a different thing. It looks different from every woman. And they all respond differently. So when I say I know that place, I've been to it multiple times as a user and as a service provider.
What don't men know about it?
What men don't know about it is it takes us to understanding it. And even the carriers sometimes don't know it. So men have to understand that this girl, the more you attack, it starts fighting you. It will fight you if you fight it. What does that mean? The vagina likes anxiety, likes putting it in a state of anxiety. The more it's anxious, the more you get results out of it. What is anxiety? Anxiety comes in when you let it expect you and never get you. That's during the foreplay. Let's look at the foreplay game, for example. What men don't understand is when you go to it directly, you don't get it. But if it's here and you touch here, it starts anticipating you. That's what they don't know about it. If you're just going to put your saliva into it, it's going to fight you. Did you see that a bank thing? That's
he was putting saliva onto it a lot.
It didn't have time. It didn't have time for the romance to get it wet. Makes the way easy. So so it starts fighting you when you don't give it time. So what they don't know about it also is it is progressional. It keeps on. It's like an engine. It keeps on. It's fluctuating every time. There's a time it's going to be wet, and it tells you now come in. There's that wetness that says, hold on, bro. Now it has 3 stages of the wetness. How they don't know about it? When it's the normal little. Why it is it's normal. But the more you get closer to it, it starts getting thicker a little bit. The thicker it becomes and the bubbly it becomes, it means now it's ready. Come in, bro. Most of them just want to go in. Women naturally the vagina must be wet at all times. The wetness does not mean it's ready for sex or for intercourse. It is wet. That's how God made it. It's like, it has the same mechanism like your mouth. Your salivary gland producing, it has the battling glands that make it wet through different seasons. Now it faces anything. It's now going into a fight mechanism. Wait, whatever we've faced, let's release water to get it out. Whatever, if we faced it now, let's do atrophy. So most people go through a vaginal atrophy. And I say, Bryan, you know what? I was excited. When the guy came, I got dry. It was painful even. So don't attack the vagina. Whisper to it. Give it anxiety. So that's what most men don't understand. It's about giving it anxiety. Even when the carrier is not interested in you, if you give it anxiety, it wants to know, is he coming? Is he not coming? Is he coming? Is he not coming? That anxiety keeps it flowing through. But the more you attack, you need to be a 3-hour guy for you to win it. But a 20-minute guy or a 5-minute guy, if he knows how to whisper to it, to get it off, he will be unstoppable. That's how the vagina doesn't need to be attacked.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I hear you. Let's take some steps back again and talk about now in East Africa, like I said before, the Ugandan women are given a lot of props for taking care of themselves. And this brings me to the Senga thing. How do you pronounce it, by the way?
Senga, like you're pronouncing it.
Okay.
That's how it is.
Mm-hmm. Do you know the history of it and how exactly it happens?
Yeah.
Where young women are taught issues of sexuality as they grow up?
Because like any other African society, we had different cultures and everyone had a role to play in that old community. Remember many years ago, families stayed together in a huge community. Not these things of your auntie staying in here and the other one is 20 miles away. No, we had a whole huge community. The Senga was the brother to your father. And then they knew that fathers could not say this to their daughters. And mothers were also not allowed because it felt a little bit different. You are actually in our Ugandan culture, your mother is not supposed to even see your vagina.
Your mother?
Your mother was not supposed to even see it. Anything that happened to it, they took it to your aunties. Because this is what? Your auntie, your senga carries your same blood. In fact, if she died, you would inherit her. Your senga's husband calls you their wife. Everything was in that line, in that direction. So the sengas did a job to tell the girls, one, how to behave as you grow. The moment a girl clocked maybe 8 or 9, they will go to the sengas every holiday. If it's school time, they go to school holiday, senga time. This is when they start initiating them into womanhood, how a woman should carry. And also why it was the sengas, because these brothers trusted their own sisters with their children than the strangers. I think you will trust your daughter with your sister better than another stranger elsewhere.
Of course, yeah.
And then because it was a cultural perspective of holding every wealth within us, every knowledge and beauty within us. So the sengas did 3 jobs: telling them about themselves, their body changes, and how to deal with the opposite gender, and also any physical changes. The physical changes came with the period, because in our culture, every first period, there's a kind of practice they would do to help this girl never to go through different challenges. And now, some mothers don't even know when their girls get their period. They just hear, oh, you got your period, oh, okay. But there was what was done by the Senga. So the Senga tells you, now you see, you're growing now. We have to do this for this purpose. They used to pull them, prepare them for sex. I remember one girl came and told me, man, my Senga used to speak in riddles. They were never direct. They would tell them, you will not get children if you don't do this practice. They would tell them, as a woman, you're not supposed to be doing this because they will never marry you. But it wasn't because they would never marry them. It was a hidden purpose. For example, I'll tell you, bro, I have dealt with all different vaginas. A pulled pussy and a non-pulled pussy. I've dealt with all of them. And I've dealt with
a pulled pussy and a non-pulled pussy.
Yes.
What is the difference?
Now the difference is in you like cars.
Yeah.
You see a 4-wheel drive on a muddy road.
Yeah.
A 4-wheel drive on a muddy road.
Yeah.
And the other one, which one would you take? Which one would you take?
Manual.
The pulled pussy is the 4-wheel drive.
Now, many people on the internet would want to know, what exactly do you mean? What are the specifics here?
Now, the 4-wheel drive gives you extra power against the others when it's a muddy road, and there's someone with their cavities there struggling. You with your 4-wheel drive, you will go through it easily. This is why, as women grow older, their physiology begins to change a little bit. 4 things happen to them. 1, after childbirth, they get a bit loose. Yeah, and I've had women call me, man, I don't know what, my vagina is queefing. It is that vaginal farting. Have you heard about it? Yeah. You're in the middle of sex and there's that sound.
Yeah.
And someone just walking. You're just walking, taking stairs, and you feel like as if you've passed gas, but it didn't come from your behind, it came from your friend. Now, these things we pull, there's a particular way we pull that it will cover for space in between. That's 1. 2, it increases sensitivity for a girl. Now, you who is not pulled, once your sensitivity is run out, bro is going to struggle a lot more. But now this girl, if you find, okay, I'm a eater. I love eating pussy, yeah? When you have nothing to eat on, it's boring. Now, these things, they carry extra sensitivity.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm eating something and there's this thing that I'm eating, sensitivity is increased. Now, there's a way we pull them to look like a butterfly. Not just any kind of pulling. They fly out. It looks beautiful. If the more you get horny as a girl, they become sweaty. They start changing size. It's like how your clit is. Even the clit erects. When it erects, it starts twitching. Now, these things we pull look like a butterfly. Now, for most men who have not experienced both the non-pulled and the pulled, they won't understand. Now, the one that is pulled, when you're horny, it closes together. Now, I'll tell you one of the secrets that I've also learned about it. If a girl is not ready for sex, you can't penetrate it. There's a way they wrap, they become dry. It's like you can't even easily rape a girl like who's pulled. It's going to be pain for you. It's very painful. I've had also an accident. One time I wanted to force my way in. And this thing holds together. If it's not wet, They hold together. And now my friends that have pulled very long, they tie it together. They do they do it like a little rope, like a twist, and tuck it in deep inside. It keeps it warm. Time a girl is very horny and wet, you flip it and it looks like a whole beautiful cream flowing out of it. So the wetter it is, the better. So for many people who cannot picture this, I actually thought it was a cultural thing until I met two white girls who were pulled. I used to do waxing. I told you I was taking care of the vagina, yeah? I used to do waxing to it. So in my corner, I had two Mexican girls who came, the mother and the daughter. And I was doing waxing to them. And the girls are pulled. I was like, hey, do you also know this? It's like, in Mexico, we also do it. And then I met Zambian girls who were doing it as well. So in my area of practice, I've pulled several different cultures, different dresses, depending on how you understand your sexuality. So this pulled thing and non-pulled, anyone, it would work. A car will drive with your normal single drive. But a four-wheel drive is a different story. Do you understand the difference now?
Yeah. But what part of the vagina is pulled?
Actually, the labia majora. There's the labia minora and the majora, the outside part. We call them pussy lips. So they're the ones that we pull. And it's actually, it's not rocket science. If you go look at it tonight. You will see what to pull. Meanwhile, it's actually there. There's a way even the ones that I've never pulled, they have it, but they've just not paid attention to it. By the time you look at it, this is the thing. You will see it's showing you we need to be pulled out a little bit. The difference is we don't pay attention to the things we do. Just go look at it tonight.
Yeah.
After here, just go look at it.
The question that a lot of people are asking.
What do they pull?
Yeah. For example, is it pulled daily? Is it pulled?
It's a gradual process. Like the men have their pulling. That's a different story. But it doesn't come one day. It's a process. Like you touch it today in your free time. If you're serious, you have a target in 3-4 days. You see, I've had series of trouble with women. I remember one girl had a guy who was dating, this online dating. And the guy was interested in those. When the guy heard that she's Ugandan, he said, I like those things, man, when they pull. So the girl started sharing pictures of a different friend. Like, hey, man, share with me your picture. Share with me your pulled thing. This guy wants to see it. He thinks I am. So
the guy got wind that the Ugandans are pulled. So
yes, so these girls would get a friend's picture. I've had people go, hey, Bryan, can you send me a picture of a pulled pussy? And I say, I didn't know what they were using it for. One night was the guy said, I'm coming to Uganda in 2 weeks. The girl came and said, Bryan, this is the picture I sent. This is what I want in 2 weeks. This is what I want. So it's gradual. It depends on what you're using, but every day you're pulling it, it grows. Whatever you give time grows. You've been to your place, the Maasai land, where people have ears up to the side.
Oh yeah. It's the same thing.
Same thing.
Oh my God.
Whatever you pull grows. You can also pull your lips to be here.
Now I understand what you do. Now it's very
Can I give you an idea? Even your dick, you can pull it to be longer. If you give it time.
Really?
I'll tell you how after here. But that's how we do it.
Wow, no. What do you mean after this?
Now, you see, everything you give time, it grows. Now, when the girls are pulling, now I've met a girl who had pulled things that were very long. And she said, I want to be like a tourist attraction. I was like, are you a whore? So, no, whoever touches me must have a story to tell about me. Girl had things, bro. They were longer than my dick at the time.
Wow.
But then the beauty, I remember how she tucked it in. First I thought this girl was just tight. I thought she didn't have a way. It's like, bro, relax. You're going to see the way. Man, the things flew up with a lot of juice, like, because she had tucked in. So the things we pull, the earlier you start, the better. Don't give it, if you do harder, you're going to rupture your muscle. It will be painful. In English, we call it jelking. And this is a proven way to increase your penis size. But it's about time. Not in 1 week, bro. Give it time. I've been doing this practice for quite some time and helping people who feel like they're not okay with their size. And whatever, it depends on what you are using. If you're at home and you don't have my product, I have a product for that. But you can get olive oil, Put in a bit of clove oil, a little drop of clove oil, and maybe put in some fenugreek powder. Mix it together and make a paste. And give it time every morning. The first 2 weeks, you're going to have a very full, strong erection. Because now you're getting more blood to your P muscle. The more you do it with time, before you know it, you're having a good size. It's worked out. It's not rocket science. It happens.
But so when you are pulling it, is it like masturbation or what is it like?
No, you don't masturbate. Masturbation is different. You see how we milk a cow?
Yeah.
So you'd be milking your dick. Give it time. When you get a full erection, you stop, relax. Give it time. And the people who are starting it when they're younger, they get more results than older men. I hope you understand now.
I do understand now.
Whatever you give time. You see, God is a genius. Every body part of yours. If you give it time, it will grow. Even a woman who has a smaller boob, tiny boob, you can make it thicker and bigger. If you give it time, give it process, massage it well daily, you see the difference. If it's wrinkled also, you can still change it. So I've been doing this for a lot of women, and I have testimony that women are changing if you give it time. You can either go through the gym to make your bum bum big, you can go through the cream way and make the bum bum big. So everything on your body you give time can be transformed.
I get it now.
Yes.
A lot of people ask that, contend that the man is not treating the woman very well during sex. You look at Ugandan teenagers growing up, and you see the girls going to see the singer. The men, who are they seeing?
They also see the koja.
Oh.
My biggest title here, they call me koja.
Oh, really?
Yes. They call me koja.
Koja.
Koja means uncle or now, for the boys, they used to go to the sister, to the brother, to the mother. The brother to your mother in our culture is called koja. So your sister's children call you koja. So your sister's boys come to you for the lessons and teachings. So the men, it was not more serious about sex. It came only from masculinity, knowing your roles, start working, start cultivating the land, go do what was done in that community. But now we've modernized things. I told you, I do the koja role for the men, and I'm doing the senga role for the women lately, commercially. People pay me to talk to them as the senga. That's what I do here. When they're getting married, I do their bridal showers. I do their premarital counseling. So I am 90% of now the sengas have been modernized. It's actually dying out slowly because of the society going divergent. Now you have the sengas who don't even know the children. They have no relationship. So it becomes hard. These emancipated kids now, they feel like, how do I tell that sister of yours who doesn't even know me? You see, that kind of thing has changed. But earlier, it was easy. It was like a mass. But now, families are getting closed in a little bit. They're becoming smaller. A brother marries, goes away, leaves the family. So there's no longer that. So people come to me now, or come to different people doing this kind of job. Everywhere around the world. Even online, I have like a few sessions that I do with the online people, teaching them about the African concepts or how a woman behaves, or the senga role. That's what I'm doing here now. Yes, sir.
Some people suggest that that virginity is not a virtue in Uganda, that a lot of people don't do. Is that true? This is a myth.
It's a myth. But I've had different encounters with it. And the encounter is, I've had a lot of men who say, I don't want to break the virginity of this woman. Go find where to. I've had girls come, Bryan, my guy. I thought I kept it for so long, but the guy told me, go break it, then come back. Now, that goes through the spiritual perspective now. There are men who believe they don't want to see blood. Men marry bitches. I'm not telling you, girl, who is keeping your virginity, keep it. You might find the right guy who wants it. But it's like you said, it's a myth. Many people believe in it, and others do not believe in it. Personally, I wouldn't want to sleep with a virgin. It's a personal experience. But many men are out there are ready for the virgins. They feel like it's better to have a girl who has not been all over the place. You understand? So I don't think it's a Ugandan thing. It's in the corners. It's in the corridors. It's not known for that. But very many girls, it's a virtue. Please keep your virginity. The man feels like, now I'm the one who's starting you, so they can trust you enough. If you've kept it for this long, I can still trust you enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about songs that you suggest to your clients to maintain rhythm in bed. We are also going to talk about women have 3 to 4 rhythm when having sex. Okay, you talk about that, but let's talk about foreplay first. What is it that people get wrong in foreplay?
You see, foreplay, a lot of people think, mainly the men, think foreplay is kissing. Foreplay is the language your partner understands. Foreplay, it simply means, and 90% of women don't respond to sex based on what you're doing to them, rather how you make them feel in the process. So foreplay to them is discover me. Somebody's foreplay could be just cuddle me, put the nice music and let's sit. And I'll be wet for you. I've had girls say, I don't even want to be kissed. Don't touch my vagina. So foreplay is, number one rule is discover your woman or your partner's need. That's foreplay. If you know she likes watching movies and a glass of wine besides, that could be her foreplay. Foreplay is what you do to set the mood for sex. The girls are just give me a massage anywhere. It doesn't have to be anywhere, just massage my feet. I'll be wait for you. I've had girls who say my first orgasm was when I went for a pedicure store. And the guy was doing my feet. He was doing some things and I felt different. And I felt like I wanted it more and more. So I think it's discovery. Though because of a lot of women not paying attention to their bodies, most of them don't even know what works for them. So it's going to be a job between the two of you to rediscover, establish what works for both of you. Because I think people differ. Not everyone, and this is the mistake with most men. The way I did a Jackie is the same one to do a Sheila. They're different. It's like, how you drive a car. I like doing normal things. Like how you've been driving a Mercedes for so long. And then all of a sudden you go to a Toyota. When you're on the road, you look for the wipers this side, yet on the Toyota, they're this side. You look for lights here. Like if you get a Mercedes fast, if you've been a Toyota person, you need a few minutes to know where the lights are. And that's how the women are. That's how the vagina is. Discover it, give it time to study what the person wants. So foreplay for me is discover your partner and what responds to her better. Though in the process, you can rediscover. And women change every other day. If you've been dating a girl for 6 years and she told me, touch my clit this way. Bro, if you do that every day, it's going to start not responding. Maybe you slap it the next time. So I think foreplay is discover, create tension between you two people. Because I believe that many girls actually have said, Bryan, I would rather have good foreplay than bad sex. Foreplay is the trend center. You set the trend and say, this is what, because there's what I call the sexual energy in most women. It starts from feeling good. That's why a woman, you can just look at her and say, have beautiful eyes, have beautiful lips, and the energy starts raising because you're speaking the language she wants to hear. But if you're not a talker, then you won't catch that in her. Probably you're going to do more time. It may take you 10 minutes to get her wet if you're going to use one direction, touch her. You may be touching the wrong thing. But if you're going to talk to her, give her the voice effect. As you give her the voice effect, you give her affirmation. It's basically discover her and give it time. So foreplay for me is know what your partner wants. Know your Mercedes and know your Toyota. That's how it is for me. Yeah. I believe that. Because it works different from people to people. Even you yourself. Yeah. You know there are things that turn you on and there are things that don't turn you on.
Yeah.
The same way that is, some women are like that.
Let's talk about the songs that you suggest to your clients. The rhythm and the songs, yes.
No, this also depends on people's character and temperament. You will find a girl who is an introvert, who is a time person. And if you're going to play her your crank music, It's going to work. What is rhythm and why do we need rhythm? The reason why we create rhythm and this is now when we have started the intercourse themselves. There are people who are one way all the way. Now, for you who is a man, if you're going to be a one way all the way, maximum you can do is 3 minutes. But women take 15 to 10 minutes to really counter. At penetration, women take 5 to 10 minutes of rhythm to get what they want. That's why some girls go like, yeah, there, you got it, and then you change. It goes back for them. The reason why we talk about rhythm, for example, let me give you a story of why we started rhythm. In Uganda, we have a style. It's called the kachabali. You know have you heard of that?
No.
It's a type of sex where you just keep on stroking the outside vagina part. There's no entry. There's no entering there.
Yeah.
You don't enter inside. You just be outside and start stroking it. Stroking it. And you're going to have rhythm also. If you just, like you're confused, you're not going to have pattern. But the rhythm part is, if you're going to go down, if you're going to write your name, what's your name?
Udwar.
Just write your name. Just write your name with it. There you're going to get a pattern with her. If you're same man, just write your S and just be, that's rhythm. Now, if it's penetration time, if you're going to be the in and out 3 and relax, in and in, it's not going to work. The reason why we do believe people who know how to dance, ironically, can be good in bed because they have a certain flow. Now, in the science of our pelvic flow, that's why our girls used to be told to wiggle. You know how we wiggle? You don't just wiggle out of the blue. You wiggle according to the flow and how you're feeling about it. It's like I am coming to you and you're wiggling just anyway. Now, the rhythm helps you touch the floor. If it's been 1, 2, 3, 10, 1, 2, 3. Now, you're going to get the body accustomed to that and say, this is how it is. Now, that's why we have rhythm. I've had girls say, Bryan, this guy can turn you in bed like 10 times in 2 minutes. You're in doggy, it wasn't comfortable, you change around and keep on flipping. So the reason why we do the songs, it's just to carry rhythm. It's actually a creative way. Like I said, as a therapist, we find creative means to help people get to the end of their game. So what music works for you or what music works for your wife, it could just be like she's going to dance to that same music. But then in dancing to that music, you're catching the rhythm slowly. Because we tell girls, move according to how you feel. If she's moving according to how she feels, but you're moving the opposite direction, you're going to start clashing it. So that's why we create the... You see, for us in therapy, we say we use what we have around. There's this guy who say, Bryan, I have tried making my girl come forever. I can have my erection for so long, but this girl never comes. Like, let me tell you about a story of one girl that I did. She was very wet, as usual, and I got a straw. You know a straw? A big yogurt straw, thick. Put it in her vagina and start sipping on it and blowing back. You may not have to take the juice, but the pressure of you blowing it inside and sipping it out is going to make her walls contract and relax. Contract and relax. That rhythm part of the story is going to change, concentrate down there for her. So the rhythm is basically to help you have a concentrated flow. That way you're going to get the results at the end of the day. So that's why you find many people say, I was with her for 3 rounds. And the girl said, I didn't feel nothing. He said he had 3 rounds, but I didn't feel nothing. So for you, it was a round, but for her, she didn't feel nothing. It's because you didn't get her rhythm in the process. That's what I believe rhythms are about. We set it based on how you feel. If you're a Phil Collins person, if you're a Lucky Dube kind of thing, the reggae kind of thing, see that flow? Use the same, because ideally, it's going to create a flow for you and you won't get tired. But if you're the same thing over and over, you get tired. That's why in sex, you're not supposed to even be sweating.
Really?
It's love making is not a fight. Love making not a fight. So if you're dancing our African dances, you have your dances, you may sweat. But if you're going to dance to tango or salsa, it may be different. So it depends on who you are with. That's why I said earlier, temperament. You find a wild girl who wants to be in charge all the time. Sometimes let her be in charge. She knows her body. But if you always want to be in charge as a man, I keep on telling many men that sex, the end result should be the woman. Do you know you can actually come by putting it in our armpits? You as a man.
Yes.
Wherever is warm, you can come. Do you know that? But for them, it takes a lot of concentration and rhythm. So if you give her concentration, you will actually end up just putting it in and come. But for her, it takes a time. So rhythm builds momentum and builds tension in the body. Before you know it, she's getting to it and then she's getting easy. That's why we set music, to relax the body, because most men attack and that creates tension. And once your body or your wife's body has tension, you're not going to get the results. That's how it is.
Great. The gates in sex, the 2 to 3 minutes, the third gate and the pre-orgasm.
The sex gates. See, like how you know if you're entering a huge or a palace. So where there's this where we enter the main gate and there's the parking lot. And then there's where you go to the main building. And then there's where you go to that. Now sex, to me, because how I discovered the gates of sex is for every woman to experience the gates of sex, there are 3 things that must be at play. 1, trust. Trusting you, the person doing it with her. 3, your confidence and the confidence in her body. Now the first gate is usually when she wants you. Now she has put it there. That's a gate. And that gate usually it's, and many women stop at the first gate because our men have not built their confidence to know that to most women, sex doesn't start at penetration. For most men, their first gate is penetration. But to most women, it's the thought. Now I've thought about it. It's time for us to get it. He touched me. That's the first gate. And in the first gate, even this girl downstairs, the wetness changes. Now there's this part where she feels like it's time for you to enter me. And you see her having involuntary body movements. Her involuntary body movements now, they're allowing you to access the gate now. Second gate. The second gate is when she's now, either if she's a talker, she'll start saying things that are not coordinated. That's why I'm not a firm believer that the morning for the girls has to be taught. I've had girls say, Bryan, teach me how to more. No. It's supposed to be out of what she feels. If someone pinches you, does anyone tell you to say, oops? It's natural, you feel. So in that gate, they leave presence here. They are not here now. They're in that place where their brain has started opening up. Now, in that first gate, we experience vaginal orgasms. You know vaginal orgasm? Or genital orgasm, let's say you as a man, you come and see something coming out. Even her, most girls do a release, have like a little release. Like, usually it's short-lived. That first gate is short-lived. Now, this is where gate 2 starts from. You see, sex to me, after my discovery, it's like a party where you have guests that have arrived. Serve them the starters. Yeah, the juice. And while they're serving them the starters, then the main course starts. People start sharing and on eating each other, eating food with each other. And lo and behold, there comes a guest appearance, music. Someone starts giving the music. And while the music is going on, there's live band there. There is fireworks. So fireworks is the third. Now, in the sex gates, the second gate is when the body starts feeling the orgasm.
Yeah.
Now, if you ever get to a place where now her body is now shaking, the way you don't understand, it's not something you have control over. She finds herself in a place where she is shaking. If you found the erratic girls, I had one who would bite you in the process. Even her mouth couldn't speak well. She's rumbling like. So that most girls don't get to it. The reason why they don't get to it is the first one was short-lived. And usually most men at that one, they have pulled out. The second gate is usually experienced when you're not inside her with your dick. Second gate is experienced when you've now given her a little bit of orgasm, she's relaxed, cuddle her and give her time. When you give her time, everything you're going to do with her body is going to be chilly. Now you're going to be getting a second gate. That's the body orgasm. Like when she's come, most of them is like, don't touch me. They just want to be by themselves. But if you've understood the game, because the reason why most men are like that is by the time the girl has come, bro is very tired. It's like, oh, finally, it's a win for me. But now if you get to know the body very well and say, she's going to come. I'd rather stay inside and hold her now. No movement, just hold her. When she's come and you stay in her with a very firm member, if you're good with the fingers, that's when your fingers are inside her body starts shaking. If you continue flowing and look for the G-spot, see the G-spot is at the roof of the vagina. Up there. So once she's come, usually most girls, they come clitoral. It's a clitoral arousal that makes them come in the first gate. Now, the second gate is an internal job. Her body starts contracting out. That's the second gate. Now, the third gate is when the passing out happens. That's the brain orgasm. But that brain orgasm, many girls can get it only when they've concentrated enough. Because when I do my lessons, I do what we call meditative orgasm, where some girls come and just sit there and they have their orgasm without being touched. It's a concentration of your mind, body, and soul together. So the third gate, many girls don't experience it. If you want one to experience it, forget about this. Start giving her, so you can start probably give her a very good erotic massage. Get her wet to a place where she is so that her body starts receiving uncoordinated moves. Now your fingers could be good because why? Your fingers are consistent. They don't change in size. They don't even change in thickness. They're the same. It's about consistency. If you're free and easy with your girl, you could get a good dildo or a good vibrator. Because I believe sex is freedom. Until you have that freedom of sex, you will not enjoy it. And many people don't enjoy sex because they don't have freedom. When you have the freedom, the gates you're going to achieve them. So the gates 1, 2, or 3 are achieved over a lengthy period of erection, or not these short-lived things. If a girl has stayed horny for 30 minutes, you've been teasing her, giving her a good massage, giving her a good talk. By the time you start doing it, after that long period, you're going to have all the gates. That's why when someone has experienced all the gates, some pass out, some sleep longer than before. Like, what happened to me? What did I do? They don't even know what they say. But if you have a girl who has the same kinds of what she says every day, give it to me, baby. I like it, baby. It simply means it's just like a folk song. It's not what you do that makes her do that. The moment she starts changing, calling you, speaking her language, unknown things, that's when you start knowing that now I think I'm somewhere. But the best way to deal with it, start at the body. Because the gates for women are easy to achieve, but most of them have not achieved them because they have blockages. The blockage starts when you don't have the freedom. I hope I've answered that.
You've answered the question.
Yes.
Now, to get us to the end of this discussion.
Yes, sir.
Spirituality and sexuality. Where do they? At what crossroad do they meet?
Oh, that's a very good topic. Spirituality and sex. Sex is spiritual.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm a Bible reader and I read the Bible. There's a scripture in 1 Corinthians 6:16 for those who read the Bible. I love the Message version because it's an easy English. It says, "There's more to sex than just the mere skin on skin."
Is that so? That is in the Bible?
Yeah, it's the Bible.
Really?
Message version. There's more to sex than just the mere skin on skin. Sex is a spiritual fact more than a physical fact. So when we start talking about spirituality and sex, it's a broad spectrum. Now, let me give you a bit of spirituality and sex. Have you ever heard people say, I don't know why I can't get over this guy. I don't know why. I mean, every time I tried to move on, I failed. Every time a man sleeps with a woman, they pour my DNA inside you, bro.
A what?
If I sleep with a woman and I come into her, I've put my DNA into her. That's why you asked me earlier, is it better for people to marry?
As virgins. As virgins.
As virgins. They would be better. A woman who marries a virgin might stay in a marriage longer or might stay there forever than this person who has had multiple sexual partners. Multiple sexual partners, you're fighting things you don't know. A vagina is like a hole. Like you dig a hole and drop in beans and drop in peas, drop in coconut, drop in a mango seed, and then drop in an avocado seed. All of them are going to germinate. Germination might take place for all of them, but many are going to die in the process. And there's going to be one dominant seed that will take over. So the spiritual perspective of sex is here. That's why I tell many younger girls who are confused about marriage. You find a girl sleeping with 3-4 guys. Like, cut them all. Don't sleep with anyone if you really want to make a decision about marriage. Sex is a gateway to your heart, and a woman is a vortex. They are receptors. When they receive, they marinate, they nurture, the seeds grow. So if I sleep with her, you sleep with her, another person sleeps with her, the dominant gene or the dominant DNA is going to overpower everyone else. That's why you find a girl say, I don't know, he's a big guy in say this bank, he's a manager, but I don't know why I don't feel it, man. This matatu driver guy, oh shit, I like him. And you see, like, okay, this guy is small in status, but spiritually he's a strong, sound man. That's why he's winning her over than everyone else. But they never understand that. So that's why spirituality and sex, they are coordinated. For those who read the Bible, there's another scripture in Matthew, around 5:28, it says, if anybody looks at a woman lustfully, he has already had sex with them.
What do you think about that?
It's true. You've not masturbated before, but as who have masturbated, you don't masturbate there. You have a picture. There's a fantasy you have somewhere. You see her bum shaking, and then you start. You're already having her. So that's where spirituality becomes like a huge pattern of sex. So, and there are those who are intentional about it. Like I've met many spiritualists who are intentional about sex. If you may not be a firm believer in African spirituality.
I am a fan of it.
But in African spirituality, we have things that we believe that if you sleep with such a person, you might end up being poor. Or if you sleep with a girl who has this kind of spirit, you may never stay married forever. There are people who are like that. They cannot marry. And when you sleep with her, you think you want to marry her. You marry her, you're going to struggle. Marriage is going to be a rock. Because for you didn't understand the spirituality part of sex.
Yes.
That's why I tell many younger people, before you open the gate of sex, are you aware? Are you informed? It's very spiritual. And I've been here and I've suffered lots of this because of what people do. There are those who are intentional. Have you heard stories of people who poop while having sex?
I've heard.
Yeah?
I've heard.
The moment that happens to you, it's a very bad sign. But if your man is intentional, I've had guys say, give me some poo-poo, man. Give me, girls count. This guy wants me to poo-poo for him when you're having sex. He's a ritualist. That's why we also tell many younger girls, if you're in your period, your spiritual heaven is open. Anybody who sleeps with you, they either get a portion of you or they lock you. So for those who are having sex in their period, as a woman, when you're in your period, you're very spiritual. Everything you say comes to pass. If you curse your man in your period, it will work. If you pray for your man while you're in your period, it will work. So for you to understand the spiritual part of sex, I've given you the scripture, but everything you do starts in the spiritual realm. That's why if a girl has been all over the place, sleeping all around with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, marriage for her, she can actually be married, but it won't be rosy. You know why? The man is going to be fighting members he doesn't know.
Spirits, ghosts.
He's fighting members he doesn't know. He gets into the girl, starts having sex with her, and all of a sudden they start fighting. I've had many girls say, I don't know why my marriage is not settling. We can just be there, and then out of nowhere we start fighting. And I ask her, tell me, what's up? I've been oh bro, trust me, I've been around. And this guy told me this guy did this to me, this. And I have actually realized in African spirituality, we thought women are more witches, but men are witches also. Have you ever looked at a girl and you liked her so much, she ate your money, said, you will not succeed. You ate my money and left. God forbid, you will not marry. You won't marry that guy. You won't settle in that marriage. It could be just a speech, but your words are affirmed. I'm a believer in spirituality that all human beings are spiritual beings. And everything that comes out of your mouth is sealed above. So for those who are scriptural, the reason why I have other African proverbs, but the reason why I'm giving scripture, it's somewhere people can refer to easily. They can read. You see, have you ever looked at a girl you like so much, but for some reason you know you can't marry her? You know you can't settle with her, but you like the girl. That's when the scripture says in Ephesians around 6:12, it says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but with principalities and all spiritual forces of darkness that we don't know. So for you who is opening a sex gate, remember, you're not alone.
Yeah.
If you, mister, you have 10,000 behind you. Not people you've slept with, but your greats are behind you. Remember one time there's a reverend who was joining people and said, when you have sex with your wife, angels are all over you clapping and saying, yeah, that's our son, that's our son, that's how angels do. Now, it was in the script, those people are Christian, they were saying were angels. But for us, we believe all our African dynasty, my great-grand are praising it, that's my boy's son. That's it, keep doing it. So you are not alone. That's why in African spirituality, we believe there are certain places you should not have sex from. If you want to have a good life. But everyone is doing, but they won't understand. But in African spirituality, we believe you don't have sex in the bathroom.
In the bathroom?
No. That's African spirituality about sex. No sex.
How about kitchen? How about kitchen table?
No sex in the bathroom.
Kitchen table?
Kitchen table is your invention, but the kitchen has food where you eat from. So whatever you allow to feed there will feed on you. You don't have sex in water, like in a bathtub or pool or waters or the lake. It's an abomination in African spirituality. You don't have sex before a mirror. How many are doing it? If you have a mirror before your bed and you're having sex before your bed and the mirror, you're going to have spiritual issues in your marriage. Because the mirror is a portal.
It's a portal?
Big portal.
What does that mean?
A portal is an entry and exit of so many things. So when you're having sex in a mirror, you have a lot of party. You have people that have joined you, but you're not aware. There are people that have joined you, but you're not aware.
The unseen guests.
The very, very unseen guests. Some will take participation. That's why many girls come to me and say, Bryan, you know what? I used to do this, but this guy died even, but I dream having sex with him every day. We separated, but this guy, every night he rapes me. You will never know how spiritual things work until you sit down with girls and talk to them. Man, girls go through things. Men don't pay attention to some of these things, meanwhile. So if you're that kind of person who understands sex and spirituality in the African context, the other thing you don't do in sex, we used to tell people that if you're doing sex on your bed and your children are in the bed, yeah?
What does that mean, in the bed?
Our African spirituality doesn't allow it. And according to true African spirituality, the bed you have sex with is not where you should sleep.
As a man?
Both of you, if you have a wife and you're sleeping on the same bed and have sex and then sleep in it, according to the African spirituality with sex, they never allowed that. Our great-grands had 2 rooms. The guy had his room and Madame had his room. And this guy will come, if he wants sex, he will cross over. Have sex, go back. The reason is simple. They used to tell us that after sex and you sleep, I told you there are guests that came along when you were having sex. Yeah. It's disrespectful. That's why in our culture, the girls had a cloth they would use. They will put it down and you will have sex on it. After the encounter, they remove it. That very cloth they used to clean each other. That's our setting, where I know very well. Now, things have changed, of course. We have one room, you do everything and do like stuff. Never share a bed with another sex partner. Like, for example, you see those things we used to do at campus. You have your car room, and your buddy is like, hey, man, can I use your room? I have a girl. Sexuality in spiritual context, when you go and sleep in that bed where other people have had sex from, you'll have struggles if you don't understand. A true African spiritual person will not go in the hotel and sleep in those bed sheets. Some people walk with their own Masai shukas. Remove that, I'll cover this and I'll cover myself. That's how it's supposed to be in spirituality and African context. So for sex, it's a big thing. It's not just a light thing. Now, because the modernity has changed and we're doing things just for fun, but also understand we can do spiritual sex for power. Have you heard some even pastors are doing ritual sex for power? You've heard that? I remember one time I met one man who said, I met him in Ghana. I said, you're a sex therapist. That's around 6 years ago. I said, Are you aware of what you entered into? I'm like, what do you mean, bro? You're teaching people sex and you're touching their vaginas. Those days when I was still pulling. Do you know every time you look into a woman's vagina and don't eat it, it's bad omen? If you look into a vagina, you must have sex with it. It's bad omen. That's a spiritual context of sex. That's why I even stopped pulling.
That's why you stopped pulling.
After I learned the processes, the moment I touch it, I must deploy the weapon. I was like, no, I'm not going to be able to do it now. That's why I even stopped. Because it's the blessing of a vagina. The vagina is a blessing, man. If you have one, embrace it. You can pray through it. It's a gate to heaven. It's a gate to hell. So that's sex. And
that's why the nakedness of a woman is very powerful in the African spirituality.
Very much so. If she's mad at you, your wife, and she opens it and say, you, Bryan? That's how they believe. You, Bryan? More so if she's a mother of children to you. Mother to your children? Hey. And even scripture says it, by the way. The Bible says in 1 Peter 3:7, men, deal with women according to wisdom. Others, your prayers will be hindered. Isn't this the Bible that people read? So the African spirituality told us that your woman, the reason why we're talking about sex in this context is because we are in a generation where people are misled. They don't know what they're doing. That's why we have a lot of things coming here in Africa that were never here. But you, as an African true man, one time I asked one of the old elders, why is it that our men today struggle with sex? They have no erection. The guy says, man, I don't know, at 40 now, things have gone. There's a healthy part of the story. But this man told me, there are things you didn't understand why they were like that. The kind of food you eat is spiritual to your sex, is attached to your sex. If you find yourself eating feminine food, chips and chicken, those the little things we like, your member is not going to be firm. Our African guys had their nuts, had their bitter cola, had their walnuts. All those empower your sexuality. So for me, I'm a believer that the more you get an open to the sex channel, man, there's a lot of information. You're not going to stay the same also after this conversation. You start seeing things differently. Very differently. So for me, I'm a believer that the things we also don't do in sex, if you want to be a wealthy man, there should not be exchange of money when sex happens. It affects your finances. One of the grants told me, if you have bought, you're dying, and you pay for sex, don't give that person money in your hand. Send her mobile money. Don't exchange your money from your hand to your pocket to the girl you've slept with, and it's not your wife. You're exchanging your wealth, your whole generation into that, because sex is a pact.
Yeah. And
that's why only sex will become one. Your oneness is in sex. So that's why I say a lot of people who are in marriage, if you're not having sex regularly, your marriage will struggle. Sex is a oneness. So if you have a woman, make it regular. Sister, if you don't want him, put it there if you want to stay in that marriage. Because if your bed is not shaking, your marriage must shake. African spirituality tells us that. If your bed is not shaking, your relationship will shake. So for you, everything you do, like I tell many younger men, if you're paying for sex for whatever reason, you're going to struggle financially if you give money from your hand to a sex worker. And those guys who are doing sex work, you may never be happy in the marriage after you've done sex work and you paid for it. Next time you're getting sex, paid for it, tell them to pay after. Not that very moment when you've just given. Or you do an online exchange. So, but I saw these things when I was traveling. Do you know why most people don't give money cash? They put it in even at restaurants, big restaurants. You know where that culture came from?
No.
For us, we copied it here in many of our African restaurants. But it didn't come from, those guys are more spiritual. When someone gives you money, they're either buying you, your power, or your wealth. So they put it in that cover and put it there. You also, when you're giving anybody money, after the sexual encounter also, don't give it to cash. So for me, I have learned that sex is spiritual in every aspect, even when you're talking about it. Why it's spiritual? You can just talk to a girl and she'll be horny. Yet you come and touch her and she doesn't like and she won't be horny. Do you know why? When you go through the spiritual channel, you get a whole body. That's why I say speak more than you act. You'll be a winner in this. Speak more and know what to speak.
Yeah.
You see, when you ask me about the 3-4 tourism, it's just that a lot of women don't. When you want to address an issue with your woman, it could be a sexual issue, it could be a relationship issue. First, bring 3 good things about her. The 4th one, which is the 4, must be the negative one, but nicely. Hey, baby, thank you for being a good woman. I like you, man. I enjoy sex with you. You're the best of my friend. I don't like though how you smell lately. You've made her wet during this conversation. Like, I like your sex. You're a good woman, but I don't like how you smell lately. You've addressed the point. Now that woman is going to start trusting you fully because you learned how to deal with her ego. Now, if you just come out of the blue and say, baby, you smell, I don't like how you smell. Baby, food is bad. Learn how to take to the woman through that channel. I like you. Your body is great. I like the fact that you cook for me. But I don't know why you're dry. This is not wet enough. You already got her attention from her. Through the 3 things that were nice, the 4th one was a negative one. That's how you address a woman. And she's going to leave a confident girl. The moment you boost a girl's confidence, you have her here. That's how we do it.
It's been very nice speaking to you, Mr. Bryan.
Thank you, man.
I really loved it. I don't regret it at all. I looked for you, researched about you, reached out to you. Reaching out to you was very difficult. Getting your number, I don't know how I finally got it.
But it's all over the socials. All over the socials.
Yeah. How do people get you on social media?
All my handles are the same. Bryan Ssemanda.
With your double S?
Bryan, Bryan, and double S Ssemanda. That's where I am. Yeah, but everywhere my number can be accessed. And I have everywhere, social media, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Everywhere you can find me. I do products that are helping men and women.
Which are they?
I'm going to give you a product today. I'll also give you one for Madame.
Okay.
Try it and tell me after.
Great.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I have a men product called Thriller. It's magical. It's a killer shot, like how you take the tequila. Thriller is tequila. And I have one for Madame. It's called Ebony. They give her juice wetness. See, pussy is supposed to be wet. Now, I have a lip balm. I have a pussy balm also.
Hey!
Yeah, I have a pussy balm. It's called Follow Me. I make it out of cannabis oil. It makes your vagina more sensitive.
Cannabis oil?
Yes. I make
Cannabis oil?
Yes, it makes the vagina friendly. If you put cannabis in your vagina, it will be made from heaven. Trust me. Have a good time. It was nice meeting you, bro.
That's really nice meeting you. All right, people of the internet, thank you very much. It was a lovely one. I'm in Kampala doing hunting people that know what they are saying and do what they are saying.
Thank you.
I think that is the most important thing. You know what you're doing, what you're saying. Do you have a website for where we can buy Follow Me?
Yeah, I have a portal through my Instagram. That's where I can find. Or even my Facebook page, you can find it there.
Okay.
But if my number will run, I'm going to give you my number to run it.
Okay.
Everywhere you are, you get my product. Around the world, I ship everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And you can consult through the internet.
Yes, sir.
Great. I hope that you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed it. And until another episode, bye for now.